Happy Sunday. Although today's really not one of those days it's kind of have some bad memories. Yes, I am talking about September 11th, the day that will live in infamy. Is the day that the World Trade Centers got hit with two planes. The Pentagon was hit by a plane. I think two other planes, at least one was shot down and the other one crashed. And I think the story with the one that crashed is that the passengers took over and crashed the plane. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's the story that seems to be mainstream. And it's always good to remember those people as heroic, that their life meant something. But with that being said, this is my stream. Unfortunately, Johnny Utah is either running late or he forgot about us again. Doesn't really matter. We're still going to go live. The show must go on. Maybe next weekend. Maybe next weekend we'll have a rare sighting of them. With that being said, we're going to go the same format I have been going over stream notes for 007. My sub count is still at 98. Not 98. Did I put 98? I meant 68. I would love to be at 98. It's still at 68, which is not a problem. I just have to get better at making videos and catching people's attention. It's all about the journey. Doesn't matter how I get there. Doesn't matter how famous I get or how famous my voice gets. It's all about the journey. So, oh man, I didn't mean to go there. So the topics: my house has fleas. My God, my house has fleas. That's something that you never want to tell yourself, or if you have a friend that you're about to go visit, or family members, when they say, "Oh, we just found out we got fleas," that is something you don't want to hear. And I'm going to go through what I've been going through and the things that I'm doing. I mean, the good news is I do have pest control coming next Saturday. I don't know if there's much he could do or she. Sometimes it's a she, but most of the time it's a he. And I wonder if they're going to do the inside because sometimes they don't do the inside, which is pretty lame. They started doing this ever since COVID hit, doing that social distancing thing. And if I don't get my regular person, he tends they tend to do just the outside. So we'll see where that one goes. Then of course 9/11. Don't really have a story about 9/11, so I'm kind of merging 9/11 with the Queen because it's fitting. I really have no opinions one way or the other about Queen Elizabeth II. I do know that she was one of the longest members of a ruling class to be a ruling class. There's several asterisks next to that. One is we're a different world than where we were before she came around. We're even a different world when she took the mantle. So I got one or two stories about that. About the Queen, one about 9/11 and one about what's coming next. And I'm just going to check one thing just to make sure. Yeah, I'm just checking to see if my co-host was on Discord, and unfortunately, he is not. He's probably somewhere next to a pool having fun. So good on him if that's the case. If not, I'll find out tomorrow. It makes no difference. But I'm going to go continue on. Let's see. Like I said, I'm going to continue onwards did have a screen open. Don't remember where that was. Oh, it's over here. Live streaming. There we go. Excellent. So we'll go to the first story, which is from Fox News, which I found very interesting. The British monarch who died on Thursday at the age of 96 ordered the Star Spangled Banner to be played during the changing of the guards. Queen Elizabeth II broke tradition after 9/11 terror attack to show solidarity with the U.S. because we were attacked. I'm not going to go in depth what my opinions are. Queen Elizabeth II made an unprecedented move in the immediate aftermath of 9/11, 2 days after the Americans were left stunned by the deadliest terror attack in the country's history on September 11th, 2001. The British monarch, who died Thursday at the age of 96, broke tradition to show solidarity with the shaken nation. This was right before I joined the Army, and it really wasn't the reason why I joined the Army. I just needed a job. But moving forward, the monarch directed the band Coldstream Guard to play the Star Spangled Banner during the changing of the guard at Buckingham Palace in order to pay tribute to the lives that were lost on that tragic day. The band usually performs a selection of music ranging from traditional marches to songs from musicians and familiar pop songs at the iconic daily ceremony held in front of Buckingham Palace, per the official royal website. A tradition dating back to the 1660, the changing of the guard is a major draw for tourists visiting London, according to the report from the Guardian, September 20, 2000. But yeah, to September 2001, 3,000 people gathered to hear the Star Spangled Banner perform, including hundreds of Americans. As a band, the Cold Stream Guard began the national anthem. Hundreds in the crowd sang along, while others wept before observing the 2 minutes of silence, the outlet reported. I want to be closer to home right now, and this is the closest we can get. American citizen Laura Esposito told The Guardian at the time. Prince Andrew represented his mother at the ceremony, and he joined by the U.S. Ambassador Britain William Ferris as they honored the victims of the attack. Following the day, the monarch broke royal protocols again to order to show her support for the U.S., along with her husband Prince Philip and her son Prince Charles. She attended the service of remembrance of, not of, but at St. Paul Cathedral. She ordered the Star Spangled Banner to be played, and it was a picture wiping away as a tear as thousands of churchgoers who attended sang this song. In 2010, the monarch traveled to New York City for the first time since 1957 to visit Ground Zero, the site where the Twin Towers fell, on the 20th anniversary of September 11th in 2021. Queen Elizabeth once asked the American national anthem be played during the changing of the guard. As we remark on the 20th anniversary of the terrible attacks on September 11th, 2001, my thoughts and prayers and those of my family of the entire nation remain with the victims, survivors, and the families affected, as well as the first responders and rescue workers called to duty, she said in a statement to President Biden. My visit to the site of the World Trade Center in 2010 held fast in my memory. It reminds me that we honored those from many nations, faiths, backgrounds who lost their lives. We also paid tribute to the resilience and the determinations of the communities who joined together to rebuild. And that is today. Today is the anniversary of that terrible, terrible tragedy. I personally think it could have been prevented. Um, that's just my personal opinion. And I don't like the aftermath of it. The aftermath, we got a larger federal government. The federal government took more authorities and more powers, and we lost liberties. We lost some of our freedoms in the following months through the Patriots Act. And we also got the new federal government, the TSA. I don't think the TSA is really needed, was ever needed. Now I do remember on that day, well maybe not that day. I remember being flown shortly after. I don't know if I was joining the military within a couple of months. It was somewhere within that year or the following year. And they had National Guards posted at every airport. That is something I do agree with, mainly because something just terrible happened and we have to make sure that we can prevent it from happening again. And it's a show of force. What I didn't agree with is them removing the National Guard and replacing it with the TSA. I don't think the TSA is constitutional, even though it doesn't really matter what I think. It's going to continue. It's going to continue moving forward. But I hope one day we can kind of get rid of it because they set it up to not fail. I'm going on a tangent. Going on a tangent, and I don't really want to. So I'm going to continue on with the next Queen story. This is from CNN. The Queen corgis to live with Duke and Duchess of York. Don't know who that is. Apparently, she has some corgis. They're a real nice, interesting dog. Queen Elizabeth II, or the second, corgis will live with the Duke and Duchesses of York, Andrew and Sarah, a source close to the Duke of York told CNN on Sunday. The pair, who divorced in 1996, who both resides at the Royal Lodge at Windsor State, or East State, I should say. The source told CNN that the Duchess's bond with the monarch over the shared love of dog walking and horse riding, even after her divorce of Prince Andrew. Sarah continued her friendship with the Queen by walking the dogs through Windsor Estate, the source added. The Queen, who died, we got it, who reportedly had 4 dogs, 2 whom are Pembroke Welsh Corgis, Muick, and Sandy. She also reported to have left behind an older mixed breed Dorgie called Candy, a Cocker Spaniel named Lizzie, and it's unclear who will be looking after Candy and Lindsay. Or Lizzie. Lizzie. Let's take a look at these pictures. Yeah, those are dogs. And they look very British. I guess they weren't really keen on fashion, or it was really cold, and that's what they deemed fashion back in the day. And then in the 1960s, I don't think that dog likes being picked up that way. The Royals and their dogs. Speaking of dogs, corgis have become synonymous with the monarch, who throughout her long life has regularly photographed with a Welsh corgi at her feet. The Queen was often credited with creating the Dorgie breed when her corgi mated with a Dutch hound owned by her sister, Princess Margaret. The Queen's passion for corgis dated back to her childhood when she fell in love with her father's King George VI dog's Dookie in 1944. On her 18th birthday, she was given a Pembroke Welsh Corgi puppy named Susan. Such was an attachment to Susan, she reportedly took her on her honeymoon in 1947. Susan died in 1959. That's kind of almost about 15 years. The monarch went on went on to own dozens of corgis in her lifetime. One, Willow, famously appeared along her side in James Bond's sketch that she recorded for the opening ceremony of the 2012 London Olympics. When Willow was put to sleep at the age of 14, the Queen lost the last descendant of her original corgi. Susan, according to Reader Digest, the Queen had a fondness of corgis because of their energy and untamed spirit. Very American of them. Prince Andrew stepped back from the public duties in 2019 following a firestorm of criticisms over an interview about his association with the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Earlier this year, he paid a settlement of the to sexual abuse accuser Virginia Goof, according to her attorney, and the U.S. District Judge agreed to dismiss her lawsuit against the Duke of York. The prince has repeatedly denied wrongdoing. Still, the allegations against Andrew, 62, have been dramatically tarnished his public standing. And that's pretty much true with any royalty or monarch or dictator or president. Anyone with power tends to have some skeletons. But I'm glad that her dogs, which I'm pretty sure are well taken care of, I'm pretty sure those dogs are more taken care of than most people living today. But I'm glad that the dogs found a new home. Um, yeah, don't know where I was going with this one, but like I mentioned, my house is full of fleas, just full of them. Well, not really full of them. I mean, I think I got most of them. I'm not 100% sure on that one. I am doing some mitigations. Unfortunately, my dog and I sleep in the master bedroom most of the time. Um, when he actually got wounds on his ears, when I started bathing him, he kind of stopped sleeping on my bed and went into his crate. And he kind of stopped sleeping in his crate, started sleeping in the middle of the hallway, leading downstairs. And sometimes he goes there, sometimes he goes downstairs. But pretty much anywhere where there's carpet or furniture, as a really old couch I probably should get rid of, I do see fleas attacking me. So this is something I have to take really serious, and hopefully I could get a handle on it, and hopefully I could mitigate to prevent it from happening again, because I don't like fleas. I feel bad that my dog is constantly scratching and he has two wounds at the back of his tail, which also makes me sad. And now I'm thinking about it, it's kind of ironic. He had both of his ears had wounds in the same spot, similar spots, and now he's kind of moved down to the base of his tail. So hopefully, what I'm doing this week and going to be continuing doing every week is making sure I could break the flea's breeding cycle. Because if I could break the flea breeding cycle, then it's all downhill from here. Once you're able to do that, and hopefully there's no serious, well, maybe not serious, but hopefully there's no lingering effects of fleas in the coming months once I get a handle on this. Anyways, how to get rid of your fleas in your house, in your yard, and more. And that's the other thing I need to do. I need to look into a yard care to think I already know how to do this, but I have to do some more research because I normally don't water my yard. So I might do some chemicals in there and just spray the whole backyard. Fleas are some of the most annoying pests to deal with. They're small, jumpy, and multiply quickly. Pets can pick up a flea from being outside in the nature, around other animals, or when humans track them inside, on our shoes or clothes. Excessive itching and scratching is a telltale sign that your pets may have fleas. You may even spot the little acrobats. On average, the fleas are 2 to 4 millimeters long, making a making them visible to the naked eye. If your family pet has fleas, it's likely that your yard and house will become a breeding ground. Act quickly as the key to prevent the spread. I did not act quickly, unfortunately. Flea infestation can test your patience and require persistence, but you can eradicate the problem with a combination of cleaning methods, sprays, pet friendly topical medicines, among other options. Questions: do fleas bite people too? Yes, the fleas are after the blood and they can bite people or latch onto clothing or shoes. However, they really do prefer animals. Pets are ideal hosts because of the thick fur provides plenty of shelter for the fleas to latch onto the skin and feed or lay eggs. If fleas do bite you during infestation, it would be around your ankles or in the folds of your skin. Fleas bites can cause allergic reactions in the form of hives. I think I got those. According to the Center of Disease Control, the life cycle of a flea depends on a lot of the environmental conditions. Fleas flourish in warm climates and usually, but not always, die in the winter season. Flea eggs are small but can be easily seen if you're looking closely. They are smooth and white or light in color. A single adult female can produce up to 2,000 eggs in her lifetime. These eggs may be laid in your pet's fur, deep into carpet, or in tall grass. The ideal condition for fleas to evolve from egg to adult is within 2 to 3 weeks. Adult fleas can live up to 100 days. Fleas are ready to feed within a day of hatching and begin sucking blood within 10 seconds of landing on the host. The weather isn't ideal. There isn't a host to feed on. The flea larvae may remain dormant for months while waiting for better conditions to develop. This is the key reason dealing with infestation can be difficult. How long does it take to get rid of fleas? The length of time required to get rid of fleas infestation depends on your environment and how long the fleas have been there. Prompt cleaning and using topical flea medicine for your pet may get rid of the majority of the fleas within a day or two. However, it can take days to weeks for all fleas present in the environment to die, even with the most contrastis approach. Contrastis. Contrastis. That's another word I can't pronounce. Fleas lay a lot of eggs very quickly, and some fleas have developed a resistance to medication and insecticides. If you have a large property or multiple pets with fleas, it may take longer to get rid of the problem. The key to handling fleas is persistence. How to get rid of fleas in your home. If your pet's if your pet is a walking carrier of mature fleas, your home can become the nursery. And since fleas have multiple life stages, eggs, larvae, cocoon, adult, and when adult fleas are present, it seems all three of these stages are present throughout your house. This means that you have to tackle the problem from all angles in order to truly eradicate the infestation. To do this, you must treat your pet and its living environment at the same time, depending on your pet's boundary. This may include your whole house or yard. The Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, recommends the following cleaning approaches. Use a powerful vacuum on any floors, upholsteries, and mattresses. Cracks and other tight spaces are usually good hiding places for fleas and their cohort of eggs, larvae, and cocoons. If you can use a vacuum with a bag you can dispose of without coming into contact with its contents, employ a steam cleaner for carpet and upholstery, including pet beds. The combination of high heat and soap is the enemy of the fleas in all stages of life. Pay special attention to any spots where your pet usually lies down or spends a lot of time. Wash all bedding, including your pets, in hot water and detergent. Dry at the highest heat setting. If the infestation is severe, consider getting rid of old bedding, starting anew. And the thing is, you probably don't want to start anew until you get a handle on it. The advent of topical flea treatments for pets may made insecticides pretty outdated. Topical prescriptions stop or augment the flea's reproductive cycle and rapidly kill an infestation. If you aim to use an insecticide or other chemicals cleaning treatment, please proceed with caution. Many are toxic to humans, pets, and the environment. Here are some tips. Aerosol sprays are recommended over foggers, as you can direct the spray under the beds or other places that the foggers may unable to reach. It's been a while since I used a fogger. I think the last fogger I'm aware of that I remember was my mom doing it. Choose an insecticide that contains both adulticide, kills adult fleas, such as permethrin, or an insect growth regulator that kills the eggs, larvae, and pupae, not pupae, but the, you know what I'm saying, such as methoropine or priaproxafen. People and pets shouldn't come in contact with insecticide or chemical treatments until it has dried. Be sure to wear gloves when you apply the spray and only do it when everyone is out of the room or house. How to get rid of fleas in your yard. Let's see, the best way to eliminate the fleas from your yards is to think where they're most likely to hide. Fleas love places that are shaded, humid, and warm. Yeah, my house has all of those since I'm in Austin. It's very humid. I have an oak tree that pretty much covers the back half of the house. And it's warm. We're no longer doing the 100-degree weather, but it's still in the low to mid 90s. Direct sun exposed areas can get too hot, so you probably won't find many fleas there. Problem areas will be likely found by observing where your pet likes to lay down. Once you have a target zone, here's what you can do to eliminate the fleas. Mow your yard regularly and rake and expose the surfaces thoroughly. Fleas like to hide in tall grass, so make sure to bag the contents rather than add them to your compost pile. Remove debris such as dead leaves and twigs from flower beds and under any bushes. Expose as many of the shady areas to sunlight as you can. Spread cedar chips on the area where your pets like to lay down, under bushes, and on flower beds. Fleas hate the smell of sulfur, powder, or liquid, as it's known to repel fleas and prevent hatching. Ask your local gardening center about Nematodes, small worms that can eat insect larvae. Avoid overwatering as this can create the exact human conditions for fleas to thrive in. Evict wildlife. Animals like opossum, mice, and squirrels can all carry fleas, and it's possible to repel these animals from your yard without trapping or killing them. The Humane Society recommends gently harassing the animals to get them to move. This can include setting up barriers in the yard, putting up bright lights, playing loud music, leaving rags soaked in cedar vinegar. If you know there's a flea infestation on your property, it might be wise to limit your pet's time playing on the lawn until the problem is under control. For some pets, like cats, this may be advisable to keep them indoors only. How to get rid of your pet's fleas. If you suspect your pet has fleas, you should have act fast to prevent them from spreading. You may be able to see the insects hopping around your pet's fur, but sometimes closer look is needed. A flea comb may reveal adult flies and their eggs dabbing around with a wet cloth on your pet or bedding can show flea dirt, flea waste that appears as body or bloody specks or ground pepper. The flea infestation usually requires a combination of tactics. Even if you're using topical flea medicine or spray, you still need to continue cleaning. Fleas lay a lot of eggs, and the cycle can start over if you aren't vigilant. Kill fleas with topical prescriptions. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration advise you to pay close attention to choosing the right formula and using it exactly as directed. Topical doses are sorted by pet type, age, weight. Oh, and weight. Flea medicines like Frontline or Revolution spread quickly between fleas, killing adults and stopping new ones from hatching. Most fleas will be killed within several hours, but it can take days for topical medicines to have full effect. Kill fleas with oral prescriptions while topical affect fleas directly. Oral pills or chewables like Bravovecto or Capstar get into the fleas after they bite your pets. Kill fleas with pet safe spray. Flea spray can kill fleas on contact. Many of sprays for the home are not pet friendly and can be toxic to animals. Always follow the instructions and make sure the area is dry or clear before allowing humans or pets back in the room. Wash your pet's bedding with hot water every couple of days. Dry bedding on the highest setting after each wash, making sure any cleaning chemicals or soap used in the process are pet friendly. Wash your pet using flea shampoo. Ask your vet or local pet store about the best shampoo option for your pet size, fur, and skin sensitivity. Many effective pet shampoos contain pyrethrin, pyrethrin, an extracted derived from cryolesium flowers. Shampoos may kill the fleas directly on your pet, but won't knock out the infestation of your home environment. Use a flea comb or use a flea comb. Flea combs are special combs fine enough to catch fleas. Also, while allowing your pet furs to pass through it, have a bowl of warm, soapy water handy to dunk the critters in once you comb them out. Fleas typically resides around the neck and tail areas. Even if you think the problem is handled, continue to comb your pet for a few days to ensure the fleas aren't reoccurring. Of course, regular vet checkups. Um, Vets are kind of expensive. Vets can field questions about your pet's risk factor for fleas and or other parasites and recommended preventive care such as monthly medication. Let your pet groom itself. Grooming Grooming keeps your pet fur and skin healthy. If you notice your pet isn't grooming normally or the hygiene has worsened, consult a vet. If you prefer natural remedies, make a strong solution by adding 2 cups of rosemary leaves to hot water. Allow the mixture to cool down and use as a spray, rinse, or soak your pet. Flea collars can be highly toxic and irritate your pet's skin. Avoid them when possible. While many vet approved or prescribed sprays are topical or considered safe, some pets may still be sensitive to their ingredients. Stop any treatment if you notice that it's causing irritation to your pet's skin or other kinds of allergic response to inform your vet if your pet has any known sensitivities to medications or ingredients. I think this just goes on and on and on and on and on because it's one of those dynamic sites. But anyways, what I'm doing, let's see here. I thought I had one more. Oh yes. So if you want to go through the natural route. Now this is a little late. I mean, this is for even though it is been updated for August, which is only last month. Springtime brings blooming flowers, wet and rainy showers, and something you don't want to see. Fleas and ticks. While fleas are a nuisance for humans, they could also blah blah blah. Yeah. So these are 27 plants that can repel ticks and fleas, but also be mindful to these plants because there's chamile. Um, the reason why you have to be careful, you also want to read the toxicity, toxic to both dogs and cats. So you probably wouldn't want this maybe in the front yard. If you don't let your dog out in the front yard, this will probably be a good spot for it. Or maybe your front porch. Eucalyptus, I think, which is another one which has these leaves, but also toxic to both dogs and cats. Lavender, also toxic to both cats and dogs. So you did 3. So, like I said, I'm pointing these out just so you don't think you can just go buy all these plants. Because if you do have a pet, you want to be mindful because they eat these, because they probably will eat these. They can be very toxic. Now, if you don't have a pet, then you don't really have to worry. You just plant whatever you want. Um, Maybe it's also toxic to squirrels and other rodents, so it may also have that benefit as well. Of course, you got rosemary, which is non toxic to both dogs and cats, which is great. I mean, this really is a hardy plant. Um, really takes effort, or yeah, it really takes effort to kill it, or simple neglect. Of course, you got catnip, can be toxic to cats with excessive quantities. Catnip, also known as the weed for cats. You got sage, non toxic to both cats and dogs. Thyme, which is another hardy plant, non toxic to both dogs and cats. Lemon balm, not familiar with lemon balm. This is also non toxic to both dogs and cats. You got mint, although mint is really nice, unfortunately, it is toxic to both dogs and cats. I think it's also a very hardy plant, too. Um, like I said, if you want mint, maybe a windowsill or a raised garden type scenario where your dog won't get into it or your cat won't get into it or the front yard. Lemongrass, toxic to both dogs and cats. Rue is another good herb and it's also non toxic to both dogs and cats. Holy basil. I do have some basil, but I don't know if it's any basil or does it have to be holy basil. Another plant that has medicinal value, the holy basil shrub, has a strong, sweet smell, and pests do not like it. Because this bush leaves are sensitive and the scent will transfer to you if you brush against it. You can also crush the leaves to release the oil for a stronger release for a pest repellent. Might have to get some basil, holy basil, non toxic to both dogs and cats. So that's definitely something you can put in your backyard. Yarrow, which is unfortunately toxic to both dogs and cats. Wormwood, also toxic to both dogs and cats. Garlic, also toxic to both dogs and cats. Penroyal, which is also toxic to both dogs and cats. The beautyberry, which is also non-toxic, which is awesome. This one did strike to me. I mean, I do think these are edible. They have a purple berry that makes a great addition into your garden. This is exceptional tick repellent plant, and it can also aid in warding off mosquitoes. The beautyberry can be grow pretty quickly, so you might want to prune them more often than other bushes. Roses, non-toxic to both dogs and cats. It's just thorny. Uh, Chrysolithium, toxic to both dogs and cats. Flea-bane daisies. I was thinking about getting some, but unfortunately, toxic to both dogs and cats. Sunflower. Kind of want to grow sunflower. I think they're a very interesting plant. Non toxic to both dogs and cats. Geranium. Unfortunately, those are toxic to both cats and dogs. Marygrow. Non toxic to both dogs and cats. It's very beautiful, orange and yellow. You get the pansies, which are also non toxic to dogs and cats. Hosta. Let's see here. Hostas are great perennial plants option for your yard for a few reasons. These tall bushes are easy to maintain and attract wildlife like hummingbirds. There's no real smell associated with hostas, but be assured that the ticks generally try to keep away from them. They're low maintenance, making them perfect for beginner gardens. Unfortunately, they're toxic to both dogs and cats. The citronella grass, unfortunately, are toxic to both dogs and cats. And if you're not for the faint of heart, there's the Venus flytrap. The Venus flytrap can be intimidating to grow, but it can be very helpful to have around the house. These plants dissolves insects like fleas and ticks that come in contact with the sticky substance on their mouths. After trapping them, make sure to put them in spots that get plenty of sunlight and give them plenty of water to keep the pests out of the house. While these plants eh, while these plants that repel ticks and fleas will be a great addition to your home and garden, there are other steps you can take to ensure a pest-free spring and summer, keeping your yard Short is a key way of maintaining, not maintain, but way to make certain pests stay out. They typically thrive on longer grass. In addition, keeping your yard clear of debris and too much water will help keep you outdoors enjoying the sunshine without worrying about tick or flea bites. And that is that one. 27 plants. Now, what am I doing? Now, I did purchase this rosemary plant. You can buy plants on Amazon, believe it or not. Now, this was only like 20 bucks. So it's kind of a test run. I probably should have went to Lowe's or Home Depot or nursery to get it. But I'm kind of curious what kind of condition this is going to be in when they deliver it. And that's what I'm doing for the plant. Now, I'm probably going to be getting some other plants like thyme and probably another couple more plants of rosemary. So I recently got this from Amazon. This is the Taro Flea Trap. It lures fleas, detects and control indoor flea problems, lure fleas from 30 feet away. Super grabber glue holds them fast. Now I got it delivered this morning, and I was kind of not impressed with it at first, but it's one of those things where it's just going to take time, unfortunately. Other thing I'm doing is I'm using this Surgeon Guardian Flea and Tick shampoo to clean them. Doing that weekly. Might do that after I get done here or tomorrow. Oh, and also Diomacrysis Earth. Now there's two flavors of these. There's the food safe one, and then there's the non-safe one, food safe one. You want to get the food safe one if you're doing this indoors. I pretty much spent about 2 hours with a dispenser, puffing this onto my carpet and using my hands to really rub into the carpet. Now, this isn't a instant killer. This is more of a long-term treatment. It will kill the fleas eventually. I think someone did a test from fleas that they got from one of their vacuums. It took about 4 hours to kill. So, and that's being directly on a small dab of this. Now, this does look like flour, but my understanding it's a fossil of a sea creature, and when it's grounded up, it pretty much acts as sandpaper. It gets in between their armor and it punctures them, and it sucks a lot of the moistures out and slowly killing them painfully. So if you actually are caring about the well-being of these pests, you probably don't want to go this route. But I don't care, and I'm going this route. Now I might get another bag for outdoor use and just sprinkle that throughout the yard. Hopefully, I could get this under control, and my dog could be a lot more comfortable. And as the starting this live stream, I took a picture of what this trap looked like. Now this has been going on for probably 8 hours. Now I am doing this during the day, so kind of didn't know what to expect, but it makes sense. I have so few of these. Now a lot of these did come towards the last couple of hours. Now, I do know from my research that fleas tend to like the night. So, when I check this in the morning, I'll probably take another picture just to see how it looks differently. And unfortunately, I do have some dog hair right here and right here. Unfortunately, when dealing with these traps, that's unless you have a really clean surface, is going to be unavoidable. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to vacuum my upstairs with my powerful Dyson Spear vacuum because I decided to wash it. Because that's the other thing you want to do is when you do vacuuming, you probably want to, if you're not using a bag, you're using a container type, you want to make sure that you clean that with warm water or warm soapy water after every use to help kill off the fleas. Just an additional step. So hopefully that will be dry for tomorrow, and I could hit all the carpet areas and get that all nice and clean and vacuum up his bed and my couches and my beds and all that good stuff so I could get this flea population under control and hopefully get rid of them. And there are no chats, so hopefully one day when I do these live streams, I will get chats. I do know anywhere between 2 to 3 people do watch these, so I am very thankful that you do watch these after the fact. I do these streams every Sunday at 5 p.m. Central Time, also known as the correct time because I'm in Texas. And if you made it this far, feel free to join me anytime in the chat. I'll be keeping an eye on that every time I do these streams. That being said, leave a comment down below what your thoughts are. Smash the like and subscribe button on YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're watching this on another channel, go ahead and do the same thing. But most importantly, have yourself a wonderful rest of the weekend.